Hi, good afternoon. This is Malu from Hearts&Minds Development Center, and welcome to Being Whole, Being Me. I think we're on episode 25, so it should be we should be celebrating, right? So for those who are here, encourage me, say hello and welcome to the show. And today our topic, of course, is the month of October, and we are talking about mental health and well-being. Today we have a very special guest whom I have actually never really met. I met this friend on Clubhouse, because whenever he comes on Clubhouse, there are many people, especially the women, who are drooling over him because of his articulation of his thoughts, which is really, really clear. Hi, Aslini. So let me warn you, Aslini, this one is for keeps. Okay, Aslini, so thanks for coming onto the show. Hi, Gerald. And so without further ado, because Afif need to, jump out at 1 o'clock, so let's bring Afif. Now, I just found out today after meeting him here that he's also very good looking. So if you agree with me, tell him, because he can't handle compliments. Afif, come on here.
I can't believe you just did that.
You see, because now you're laughing and people will agree with me, that you're good looking and you're charming. Good afternoon. Thanks for saying yes to us and coming on to our show. And I really, really appreciate the fact that you made a lot of arrangements for you to be here, especially with the children. So thank you very much. I owe the kids something, I suppose. Aslini thinks this is cool. I like. So I don't know whether, Aslini, you think this is cool or you think Afif is cool. Be specific, because Afif has got problems with compliments.
I do.
But you seem happy, you seem really happy with the real compliments I'm giving. Okay, good. So Afif, so tell us about your past life. We know now, I'm trying to imagine you in your uniform,
Good.
but we won't get there. We probably get a photo and put it up. So tell us, right, a little bit about your past life as a captain.
Sure. I'll sidestep the title a little bit. More of a experience as a pilot. I started in 2004 through the cadet program with Malaysia Airlines, and I spent majority of my career as a pilot there. I left in 2017, where I went to Hong Kong with Hong Kong Airlines, and I joined Emirates in 2020. Quite literally 6 days before the whole world went into lockdown. So I like to say that I spent 3 months in Dubai, and people ask me, so how's Dubai? And I say, I don't know, but the food delivery guys are nice, because lockdown, I didn't see Dubai much, if at all. It's just food delivery and that's it, because we were stuck indoors. But with Malaysia Airlines, I flew many aircrafts. I'm very grateful to that, alhamdulillah. And I've been to a lot of continents, a lot of countries. And Hong Kong Airlines was a nice, life-changing experience, which is why we're here today. And Dubai was supposed to be a new start for us as a family, but God has better plans, and that's that. The way you described me, the pilot designer thing. So the designer part came during the Malaysia Airlines time, where we were on the A380 fleet, and I just identified gaps in training where I thought it should not exist. Really senior guys were struggling with this new way of setting up the plane, new way of handling the plane, and a lot of the older guys were struggling. So I didn't like to see that, because I know how it feels like to struggle, and so that's how I got introduced to design, and been doing it on the side ever since. And so that was 2013. And but by the time I got my captaincy, flying work was very hectic, so I dropped that for a while. But now pandemic says do it all over again. So I'm a designer now.
Right. So, would you do you see yourself going back to flying?
Yeah, yeah. If I have the opportunity, the right airline. When I say the right airline, of course, the working environment and opportunities, but also good opportunities for me to raise my kids in an environment that suits us. So it's not just any flying job. It has to fit with my kids as well.
Tell us about these three kids who rule you.
Uh, the light of my life, I've got a
Oh,
son who just turned 12. I've got twin girls who are 9 plus right now. Um, yeah, they keep me straight, narrow. They're incredibly helpful at home. But then again, that has been preset when I was about to become a single dad. We and we knew the arrangement was that they will be with me, so it was briefed regularly to say that it's just us. We can't depend on anyone else. Sure, help can come, but not depend on. So we depend on each other. So they grew up quick, really quick, and they're very helpful at home.
mm. So tell me, when you so let's just talk about a little bit about work and your transition first. Before, I think once we indulge in your personal life, there's no turning back for me. Because you know how curious I am, right? Okay, so just so you were a captain and you were introduced to design, and you did design, you did both, and now you say, due to circumstances, you've actually looking at designing. But you're also saying that you might go back to flying if the right opportunity and if the right circumstances come, right? Yeah. So tell me,
Yeah.
like, how do you divide your love for design and for flying?
Um, Designers uh, tend to be married to their work, so burnout is an issue. And I'm to be honest, I'm a bit envious of my mentors and my new friends in the design world in the temperate countries. They would say that, to avoid burnout, I go skating on a frozen lake nearby. you know I go snowboarding at the mountains behind my house.
Right.
It's not fair. And so the reset, the detuning from work is a big part of being a designer. So how I divide is I use both to complement each other. So you when I used to fly, it's it's generally the right the same thing. Of course, every flight is a different circumstances, but generally it's the same routine. You come from flight, you do the documents, and then you prep the aircraft, and you fly, and you deal with whatever. It's the same thing. So when it gets monotonous, that's when I use design to reset my brain, left brain, right brain kind of thing. So flying is technical, and designing is the creative part. So I use it in parallel to feed off each other. So sometimes when I get my fix from the creative part, then it will fuel my enthusiasm to sharpen up my skills in flying. And then when I do that on flying, I will take note or notice things that could be iterated on design and play around with it. It's like, this could be better, that could be better, this and that. Noticing a lot of minute things that people in the past have called me crazy to notice such small change of details. But
Nice.
yeah.
Nice, nice. You must be a very detailed person. Now, there is this young lady, Ilham Yusha. Do you know her? Because
No, actually.
she's gone, hi, oh my God, this is such a coincidence. So I don't know whether you're a coincidence or I'm a coincidence. She's my friend's sister, whom I just met today, but her, oh my God, sounded like she was excited to meet you. So, Ilham, you better tell me whether you're excited about me or Afif because it's important to be good. Okay. The oh my God sounded like she's excited about you. So let's see whether who she's excited about. So good. So you found a really good combination for you to bring your left and your technical side, your process side, as well as your creative side, right? And you did say that whatever opportunities that you're looking for in the future, right? When I asked you about flying, it seems like it needs to revolve around your three children, or it has to
Yes,
fit into what you think you want in life. So, what is it that you want for yourself and your three kids, Afif?
I want them to have good education, a very inclusive global education, not narrow. That's one. Two would be uh, experiences.
Mm,
So where I live, even things like going for a going for a bike ride, going for a push scooter session with the kids, I would have to drive to a location for them to do that.
right,
And it's tedious. It's tedious. It's messy. It's not fun. In Hong Kong, we could just go downstairs and straight away scoot, and we could scoot
okay,
anywhere and everywhere. And then we're tired. There's always a 7-Eleven somewhere. We grab a drink, grab a Snickers bar, sit down, fuel up, and then zoom, zoom, zoom again.
right.
Uh, so, so things like that. So that was why I was very, very, very grateful, very, very glad to go to Dubai. Yeah, I still had to drive to go to certain places. Yes, there's a beach nearby, but you still have to drive. But it was a different vibe. It and vibe is very difficult to put in words. Um, and I've always wanted them to be exposed to an international environment. But doing that gives me the difficulty of trying to make sure that they are fluent in bahasa, they know nuances about how is it to be in Malaysia. Like about last week, I had to spend 5 minutes to explain to my son how we use the word cik. It's like terima kasih cik, topang lalu cik. Like just to explain the word cik took me like 5 minutes, and it was a concept that's lost to him. You see, because we've lived
Right,
abroad, and
right.
I've always exposed them to the international way of things, and when they were younger, I kind of like missed out on the local part. To basically to summarize, they need to understand the jokes of Piramli lah. Then it's like okay, you're set lah. You know, if they understand the Piramli jokes, like okay, they're Malaysian lah.
Okay, okay. Now I have to test it out with my kids too. Then, okay, nice, Afif. I like the fact that you spend so much of time teaching kids about language. Now I'm going to shout out to say that Ilham is excited about me and not about you. Okay.
See,
However, the second part says, I don't know, Afif, but great to be in this conversation. Universe is answering my question right now. So that's about you. By end of this show, let's see how you feel about Afif. Okay. And yeah, I just met her today. She just sent me a text this morning. So I think that was what the yay is all about. So Afif, you're saved from another lady, another female admirer. So let's move on. Now, so I want to just talk. Let's talk through the difficult part, the divorce, right? So, how long has it been since the divorce?
the formal official divorce.
We can talk about unofficial and official. There's always a transition, right?
From the day in court, that end of this month would be 2 years. Um, since things started to unravel, end of this month would be 2.5 years.
So you had sort of 6 months you contemplated with it,
With what?
with divorce, with the former.
Um, no, contemplate was actually only 2 months, 3 months. So the rest of it was to finalize things. So contemplate will be like, should I or should I not? If I do, what? If I don't, what? So that period was 2 to 3 months, very painful 2 to 3 months. But once I had made my decision and had focus on the decision and the goal that I want to achieve. That last few months to reach the court date was just laser focus in trying to ensure the well-being and safety of my children.
Okay, thank you. Really, really want to thank you for allowing us to pry into your life, right? So, Afif, you said you thought about whether you should or you shouldn't. Are there parts that you are okay to share with us as to what are some thoughts that was running in your mind as to why you should and you shouldn't? Because the objective of really talking about this is to support and help other people who might be struggling, who might, yeah. So what were some thoughts that you had entertained in your head as to why you should or shouldn't?
Uh, Whether I should divorce would be the whole idea of uh, not wanting your kids to grow up in a broken family kind of thing, um, and that was in my head a lot. Things like how it would affect them. I couldn't really care less about how society would view me being a divorcee, but I was very, very concerned. And well, at that point, worried, maybe even fearful. But right now, it's if me today were to be handling it then, which would be ridiculous, would be just concern. But back then it was fearful and fear of things like how would it affect them negatively? Because I know quite a number of people who has negative effects from their parents' divorce,
Mm,
and and it's it and and of course things like that can affect
mm,
um, for a variety of combination of reasons of why the divorce is right.
mm,
But um, with my own experience and with my own self-reflection and also analysis of things. Like I said, I have I have good attention, noticing of details, right? So I I feel that people who are children who are negatively affected by the divorce is they did not make peace with situation.
mm,
Um, there's many things like was did they break up because of me, or when the parents break up and they did not have a good environment post parents breakup, they 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 angry, they they're not at peace with why it is, you see. I say this to a lot of the people that come to me for advice that we spoke about. I don't like to use the C word, right? Um, um, that uh, it doesn't really matter what bad things has happened to you before,
Mm.
because it happened. There's no way for you to change it. So it's about how you move on from it, right? So I was worried about that because mm, I hope this is not opening a can of worms or anything. May Allah guide me. But my ex did not reconcile with her own parents' breakup peacefully inside her,
Mm.
and that affects how she deals with people, and we'll leave it at that. And I was concerned that what if my kids were to be like that, you know?
Mm.
But I knew that I need to address that by making sure that they understand, even though that their parents broke up, they can depend on me on love, protection, education, discipline, and they understood that. So uh, so I had to step up, you know. Uh, so that is the should I, shouldn't I? Uh, the singular event that led to the divorce aside, um, there were other issues as well. My side, her side, of course, um, and and okay, I'm a bit distracted now because I'm about to be bullied. um, where was I? Yeah. So shouldn't I? So stay married, right? Um, I know that probably somewhere deep down, I probably wanted it to end, but just it would be difficult, you know, because we've got kids and everything. But a singular event occurred, and it provided a solution for my kids and myself. And yes, it's a singular event that provided the solution, but to earn that solution, I had to suffer.
Mm.
And suffer I did. August 2019, in 1 month, I lost 12 kilos
Wow.
just by
Wow.
stress. And I ate and ate and
12
ate, but I
kilos.
lost 12 in 1 month.
Wow.
You could ask my colleagues in Hong Kong at that time, and they go like, "Dude, you're thin." And so those are the main points, thinking about should or shouldn't. But ultimately, when I stopped thinking about myself, because I also struggled with the idea of, oh no, I'm a divorced guy. You know, I see my parents survive, alhamdulillah, from late 70s until now. They fight, they argue, everybody fights and argue, but they're still together. So that was my beacon, right? Uh, and I cannot maintain and achieve that beacon as they do. So that was also going through my head. But once I stopped thinking about myself, and I focused on what's more important, which is their well-being. And I've seen kids being thrown left and right. This weekend you're here, that weekend you're there. This weekend you're here, that weekend there. I knew that I had to be fully responsible for them, and to do that is big, and and I focused on that. So I'm a bit off topic here right now. So because I knew that I wanted to make sure that their well-being and safety is taken care of, I knew that I should I should get the divorce,
Right.
with the terms that I wanted, which Alhamdulillah I have today, and that that was the only focus I have on my decision to ensure their safety and well-being.
Nice, nice. So it seems to me that, what you're saying is that initially you were caught up in a web of your own emotions and, your own struggles around the issue, around the impact, right? And what you did is you're saying you shifted your focus to then, what is the focus of attention, which is the well-being of the kids. And you're saying that because you were focused on the well-being of the kids, the decision and the execution of the decision became clear for you. That's what I'm hearing, right? Now, but let's go back to you because we are interested in you. Is that your daughter?
Yeah,
She wants
they're
something?
no, they're planning to mess me up in this on camera.
Oh, no, don't do that, please. Don't do that. She's so cute. Okay, because I've been seeing that she's sneaking. All right. So, are you still able to pay attention to the
Yeah,
question?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, you tell her, we're going to bring her on camera and make her answer the questions. So let's talk about your well-being because to lose 12 kilos, oh my goodness, I cannot imagine the pain and the stress you would have gone through, right? So tell us a little bit about what it was really like in terms of your mental health. What was it like, during that 1 month where, physically you lost 12 kilos? What were you thinking? What were you feeling? What were you doing during that moment to cope or to
To
exist?
cope.
More than cope. I won't even say cope. I think to just wake up every day and say, I've got through another day, right? Yeah.
as as much as I am uh, a very detail oriented guy, I'm also a very overview kind of guy as well. During that period, the overview part took over a lot of my mental space. And that led to overthinking, over analyzing, and blowing things out of proportion about worry in my head.
Mm,
Oh no, what's gonna happen to my kids? Oh no, how are they gonna this? How are they gonna that? Worry, 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 worry. So even when uh, negotiating the custody, I was worried about this and that and a billion more things.
mm,
But the counsel that I kept, which uh, certain people say that uh, I I ask for opinions too much, and I let the opinions of others influence my decision. So I was told that once, uh, and it's funny because because the thing I do that is, well, from a pilot's perspective, and then later on I found out from a designer's perspective that you cannot decide on your own. As a pilot, if you decide on your own, uh, you might make the wrong decision. As a designer, uh, you may not design the right thing that serves the customer and the client, right? So obtaining data, obtaining opinions, because your opinion could be wrong, your opinion could be biased. So I sought counsel, and I kept wise counsel. So that counsel that I kept, which is a mixture of family and dear friends, to answer your question about how do I manage my day to day, it was exactly that: manage your day to day. So I was told that don't worry about the big picture so much. Just do what you have to do in terms of trying to ensure a good custody for the well-being and safety of the children. But
mm,
in terms of me, the being of me is um, what do you have to do day to day? So and I didn't understand that. I said, well, what do you mean? And I was told, like, literally, what are you going to wear? What are you going to eat? Where are you going to go? You're going to pick up the kids, which path? As simple as that to get by. Because then I learned that by doing that, it sort of narrows your focus into what you have to do now instead of worrying about what could be, which may not happen in the future, in the larger scale of things. And then 2 years later, when I did 1 year later, when I did NLP, I was taught the same thing. Your worrying does not serve you any purpose. In fact, your momentum group did a room yesterday about fear, and I said something to the same tune where it's just imaginary. Until there's data to show that it could happen, there's no point worrying about that. So I just dealt with what I had to do day to day. When I catch myself overly worrying, I would bring myself back and refocus. I was also inspired by, I think it was Pierce Brosnan. His wife passed away, his first wife, and he felt like giving up. And there was an incident or a scene, I can't remember, where he saw his children and said, "My children is looking to me for guidance now. What do we do? Mom's gone. What do we do? And if I don't wake up and be that pillar of support, where are they going to go to?" So that was his wake up call, and it applies to me.
Nice.
And I use that.
Nice. Thank you very much. Wow. Thank you. So tell us. So I like the way that you're talking us through the fears, as well as the idea of getting caught in the web of worry. And I also really appreciate the fact that you stay current, right? But especially when you lost your 12 kilos, what do you recall about your lowest moment, like where you thought you hit rock bottom? Which was rock bottom for you?
There was a period of time where it crossed my mind to give up on everything. Read between the lines.
I can.
But then you know that the movie Last Jedi, where it was finally revealed that Luke wanted to strike down Kylo Ren because blah 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 blah, but he explained that when he was about to strike down Kylo Ren, it was just a momentary blip in his mind that I need to kill my nephew because he's gonna go to the dark side. But it was just a moment. But the moment he saw what I saw was the face of a scared child looking at his uncle, blah 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 blah. So it was that the thought came because the pain was, oh wow, the pain was extraordinary. People keep coming up to me and asking, how do you even stand? How is it that you've not committed murder yet? because the situation that I had to go through. People were saying that if it was me, I would have done this, I would have done that. If it was me, I would be in jail by now, by responding through anger and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know. I'm just very grateful spiritually that I got through. So at the lowest point, I felt like giving up, but how to give up on this? How to give up on this? This times 3. I can't give up on this. So they were the reason that pulled me through. There is this. I'll share this with you on WhatsApp later on. There's this very cute comic. It was about a father who dealt with the death of his wife. So the message was that you think that as a parent that you need to be the source of strength for your kids, but sometimes it's
Yes.
just the other way around, right? So the image that the artist drew was this: the father is this big fat guy, short legs, short arms, and it's the back view, and he's looking out a window, and there's a tree. The tree doesn't have leaves, and then the daughter is this little tiny girl, and she's just holding his hand.
Right.
I think she's holding a little blanket as well. And then the caption was explaining, blah blah blah. But sometimes the child is the one that's a source of strength for the father. So I saw that on one of my feeds, on my social media feeds, during this period of time, and and it was very relevant, and it resonated with me very very well. So that was my lowest point, and I got out of it thinking that uh, whatever that I went through uh, from my end, whether it's guilt, shame, embarrassment, anger, none of that matters. If anybody wanted to say anything negative about me during that period of time, it didn't bother me, not one bit, because I knew what I had to do for them, and a lot of things also came around. Things like people said, you cannot do this on your own. You're not a woman. You don't have the maternal instinct. You don't have, you're not a mom. They need a mom. But for my specific situation, we're unique. Where I mean, how often do you hear that a 7-year-old and a pair of 7-year-olds and a 9-year-old are in the custody of the father? You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
you don't hear that a lot, and
Right.
a lot of that reality, of it being a reality, I chalk it down to faith for me. I prayed a lot that the arrangement be would work for us, and so far it is, and I continue to pray and make effort to ensure that it continues on that trajectory. And with that, it sort of like bursts your little bubble of trying to put me on a market. because because I 24 hours, if there's 48 hours in a day, maybe but 24 hours. I
You
mean, just
you you know what you're doing, Afif, right? You're saying
no.
I'm putting you in the market. Actually, you've just put yourself in the market. But by making yourself sound elusive and exclusive, but we'll come to that. Okay, I want to read out what Regina is saying. Afif, she's saying, it's wonderful to hear how a man processed this life changing event with clarity, compassion, great love, respect, while still giving the mother of his children the dignity she deserves. I also appreciate how well he articulates his thoughts and feelings. Ah, what a gift to us. We seldom meet men like you who articulate so we have thought. I am awestruck by how okay he is in describing his struggles. Clearly a deeply centered and spiritual man. Yes, young lady, we're talking about your father. As I say that, Nini Chong has joined us. She's never joined us before. Okay, Afif, it's all for you, right? Nini says hi. Cheryl is also here. She says in Malaysia, very rarely. Alvin Neto says, small steps lead to big changes. Of course, Ilyas is there encouraging. Ilyas and Gerald are encouraging your daughters, to do whatever they were planning to do because they want to see the fun. And Cheryl says, none of us want to be in that situation, but it's important to understand how we all have our journey. Thank you so much, Afif, for being vulnerable enough to share your journey with the rest of us. Now, we have about 15 minutes, right? So, Afif, if you can tell me what are some things that you did, that you consciously did to pick yourself up from when you hit the rock bottom. I mean, upon contemplation, you can think about, I hit the rock bottom and I thought, I didn't want to, get up to life. But then you saw this amazing three beautiful children, which is obviously showing off now on screen, right? And I can understand why. and you picked yourself up, right? So, what were some things that you remember doing to just get going every day? Can you give us a couple of tips as to what you did?
Um, uh, for me, it was almost 90% spiritual faith. Uh, I was told again by the counsel that I kept that this is what I'm going through is not your typical uh, test in life to make you be stronger, blah 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 kind of thing. Uh, when I was going through difficulty, when I was telling the story at that time to my close confidants, uh, as I'm telling the story, people caught that I kept saying this phrase ever since I was 9. This is the third time since I was 9. I went through this again previously when I was 16, and then people caught on that, and they
Mm,
pointed it out to me, saying that, do you realize that you've been repeating this?
mm,
So I was told that the the huge marital issues aside, they were saying like, dude, you've got some unresolved issues, man.
ah,
And I go, what do you mean? And they said, you've been saying this since I was 9, since I was 16, all that kind of stuff. And they said like you should get this sorted out,
mm,
regardless of whether you fix the marriage or not. Because either way, if you don't sort this one out, you're gonna affect
mm,
this.
mm,
It's gonna affect on how you interact with them. And I go like, I did not see it that way.
mm,
And I sought help.
mm.
That's why, and it worked. And that's why I am pretty good in trying to pinpoint a source material. Like one person that came to me with a certain issue, and after hearing the issue that was told, I asked, "Do you think that you're narcissistic? Do you think that there's a possibility that you're narcissistic?" And this person was directly saying, "Nope, I'm not." So okay, fine. If that's what you think, I don't know you. Um, but as we continued to have the conversation and I asked targeted questions to figure out what is the real problem. We unraveled that this person had a narcissistic tendency.
Right.
So, uh, so why am I saying this? Is because sorry, what was the question?
How? What were the things you did to pick
Okay, what
yourself
was things I
up?
did? Okay,
And
right.
you said you sought
So
counsel and you found help. That's what you said. And then you were
right.
giving an
So
example.
so I so now I know that, like I said early on, it doesn't matter what happened to you before, whether you've been abused or this or that. It's how you move forward from it after
Okay.
you've identified the issue, and then you neutralize that. If you can turn the way you view that negative thing into a positive side, even better. But at least the least you could do is to make it into a neutral response to that painful event, right? So that's the worldly part, because uh, I don't know whether it's the whole pilot thing or just the way I was raised or how I am, but I've always wanted to be able to solve my problems with my own hands, right? Uh, and I always could, to a certain degree, even if it's not 100% solution, I could solve some parts of it. But this one I could not fix at all. There's
Mm.
no window, there's no avenue, there was no there was nothing that I could do to find a solution for what for what we went
Your
through back
experience.
in 2019. Uh, so that's when the counsel that I kept told me, you need to learn how to uh, pray properly, not
Wow.
sembahyang, not sembahyang or solat, like the way the Muslim do, like prayer as in asking, and then I was offended, like, how dare you say that I don't know how to pray. And people, the council told me that, yeah, dude, you don't know because you're
So,
in this position right now.
Afif, have you always been a person who turns to God for your
No,
issues?
no.
Okay, so this was the
Uh,
beginning, right?
this person who was speaking to me about this, uh, or was saying that the reality is that you're arrogant, and then the more I go like, how dare you, uh, because when I hear that, because I've been accused of that before at work in one of my previous employments. If people know the story, they know what I'm talking about. Um, and I take that personally to for people who claim that I am. But for this case, the word arrogant was not centered around me thinking that I'm great or powerful or all of that. Arrogant in a sense that I think that I don't need the Almighty.
Right, that you can
You know?
resolve it on your own.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I can so relate to that, Afif. I can just so so
You know?
relate to that. Can I do all
So
in my powers, yeah, to
yeah,
resolve it without
right,
asking for
right.
help? Fantastic.
So I was taught on how to actually verbalize certain in when you speak to God in my duas, and I followed that. I followed that. I followed on how to accept that. Again, I'm talking based on faith perspective. That if you understand the concept of a higher entity that is responsible for all things, the 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 awareness to remind yourself how small you are in that greater scheme of things.
Right.
You know,
Got
just
it.
you compared to a planet is already a huge scale
Yeah.
already,
Right.
universe and da. You know, so that was
Afif, beyond spirituality, beyond religion, because we're going there, right? What were the other help you sought that help you get out of it?
speak. I spoke to people.
So number one,
It
you
was
found
an in
counsel. Number one, you found counsel, the right group of people who are willing to tell you the truth or guide you through, which led you to reconnecting with God, right? And you
Yeah.
find answers in spirituality. Speak. When you say speak, tell us a bit more.
So the council, I said, they were like, family and really close friends. But why I have two different categories, counsel and speak, is that some of my closest friends were absent during this time.
Ah, okay.
And it's not a hit on them. It's probably they were not equipped to handle these kind of things,
Mm.
Uh,
I
they
get
were my
it.
best buddies because we play football together. They were my best buddies because we play video games together. But when it came to something so deep and so heavy, they just don't know how to deal with that. But instead, I had a very unique group of people that I would just previously would call colleagues or acquaintances, but they were ever present during this period.
Nice.
I had this much older American guy, white American guy. I had this Japanese American guy. I had, well, of course, a few Malaysians. Some of them were my former subordinates who are now friends. So it was a weird experience having this people that I never expected to be around me during this really, really difficult time.
Okay. Nice.
Um, and and in this opening up, not opening up about the dark personal part, but just open up to talk to people, meet people, because now I'm so-called approaching a status of being single and free from a marital state, right? So I could meet people, I could do things. One guy forced me to go to a driving range, and I said, like, why? Why would you want me to just follow? I don't know how to just follow, but I don't want to. I don't care. Just follow. I'm picking you up in 5 minutes. Like, you know, people force me out to dinners, like, bro,
Oh,
tomorrow
nice,
you,
nice,
me, and this guy dinner here. I said, no, but then my kids are like, no, 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 your in-law is around, right? Okay, ask them to
nice,
babysit. We're going out. So I
nice,
was forced to do these things,
nice,
and they just and they did it for the purpose of that healing and getting out of the funk.
nice, nice, nice. So you had counsel, you had people to speak to, you had friends who forced you out of your comfort zone, to say, right? And that worked for you to heal. And of course, you prayed, right? Where are you now in terms of your well-being, Afif?
Peace. And we're talking about me, like, giving commands of like military style, like, door, shut down the lights, it's almost Maghrib, go, 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 everything is like tight ship, and it's loud, the house is loud, at the end of dinner, once I've tied up the trash bag, I'll just say, door, and they know what to do, grab the key, open the door, switch on the car porch light, open the gate. It's like in the article, if you've read the article, I said that it's like my own personalized Siri. I give commands, and things are done. So it sounds hectic, it looks hectic, but it gives me peace to be single like this with them, spiritually. I'm happy, health wise. They don't let me exercise because they want me to be fat and ugly.
So, so, so that
She's
so
nodding.
that so that they don't have any competition, clever girls. Right. What is she writing? Oh, thank you, darling. Mwah. Stay safe. We will. We will. Okay, I need to get a pink mask too. Fantastic. So, Afif, so it's good that you are in peace, right? How long did it take? Because you seem to have great rapport with your children. That's so obvious. Because without great rapport, you can't be ordering them to do that at this age and them being so obedient, right? So we
Exactly.
know this rapport, right? It's deep rapport. Now, how long did it take for you to get to the space from the time you had their custody?
Before the divorce,
Ah, you started working on it before already. Now,
because I
so
was healing. Mm. No,
sorry.
please.
So one question I have. So before, so how much time, how much more time, or how much more were you invested after the divorce with the kids compared to before the divorce?
Oh, much more, much, 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 much more.
How much more? Give us
Uh,
a feel.
Go lah, drink. What?
That is
Take the
a
water bottle
father
inside
in
the fridge.
action. We seldom get to see this, but it's so cool that it's on screen and we get to see it.
Uh,
I love your girls. I love your girls.
um, we call it during the breakup. That's their phrase. During the breakup. During the breakup is where we did the healing, right? Uh, so we did a lot of things together. That's when I go full on teaching them about the religion, the prayer, right and wrong. I teach them to challenge me. There was one time where one of them did something wrong this year, and it was a very long day for me, and it was a very long week for me, and I lost my temper. I lost my temper, and all that kind of stuff. And 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 later on, when I've cooled down, we spoke about it. Okay, why do you think that? Why do you think that I got so angry? Oh, because of this. So I pointed out to them that you cannot do this because blah blah blah. The usual parenting stuff. And then
Right.
we were seated down. We were seated down on the floor, the three of them in front of me, and I was seated down in front of them. So I've already said my piece. And I said, all right, your turn. Shoot me. So they shot at me. They say like, oh, you shouldn't have raised your voice. You promised not to raise your voice. You let slip a few unsavory words.
Oh.
So they attacked me. They gave their piece, especially the parts where it broke our covenant together as the four of us,
Mm.
and that's how we connect. That because I told them that if you can't question me, if you can't point out my mistakes with you there's a chance that you can't do that in the real world outside with
Yeah.
friends, with teachers, with employers, sorry, with bosses and all that kind of stuff. You got to stand up, and that's what we try to do. So we started that journey of building the rapport before the divorce, during the difficult period, and we maintained it throughout.
Nice,
The
nice.
reason they're wearing the mask is because they don't want to show their face online.
I saw you. I saw you. They are so cute. Nini Chong says, we're going to come and see you girls, okay? I love how confident your girls are in front of the screen, Afif. It shows that a full-time dad is equal to a full-time mom. This is a huge stigma shift. I love it. Ah, Malar, I'm here for you. Okay. Nini is here for me, not for you. Okay, Afif, even though she's your fan. Nirmala Bhaskaran says, wonderful to hear how much resilience you've developed over the course of your life event. The insight you gain has become your strength. Great sharing. Thank you for opening up. May you and your wonderful children attain happiness always. So, loads of blessings, and definitely you've inspired us. I think I don't know about the rest of the people. If Afif has inspired you in one way or another, just put it in the comment as to how he has inspired you. But Afif, like what I said when I first started, you've always inspired me when you speak on Clubhouse because of the depth that you bring in, and the amount of thinking that you actually go through, right? Like, I mean, I always think it's like, what is this guy thinking all the time, right? And Cheryl says, such a lovely daddy. My hubby is like that with our kids as well. All daddies should be like that. Okay, Cheryl, we're not interested in your husband right now. We're interested in Afif, okay? Now, so Afif, I'm going to go. I know it's 1 o'clock. If you can just give me 3 minutes, I
Sure,
just want
sure,
to
sure.
ask you a couple of questions, if on a rapid format, right? So, if what is that one advice, right? If you were to go back 2.5 years ago when you started in this journey, right? Now, if there's now looking back with all the skills, experience, and resilience you've built, if you could go back, and I know we can't, right? Looking now, what is that one advice you would give yourself 2.5 years ago when you first started on this journey?
The During the difficult time,
Yes, the difficult time.
uh, I would tell me that uh, this this pain is needed.
Wow. Okay. You will tell yourself this pain is needed. And what were you saying
and
to yourself at that time?
and then that past me would say, what bloody nonsense are you talking about?
Okay. You were going to swear, but you
And
decided not to swear because we are live, isn't
right,
it?
right, right. So
Okay.
so then I would tell, that's the thing, you don't understand yet.
Nice. Nice.
So understand that this pain is required if you want to have peace.
Thank
Uh,
you. Thank you.
Ultimately, you want happiness and peace,
Yes.
and I know that uh, me 2.5 years ago did not have real peace.
Hmm.
So the pain was required. We have a we have a surah in the Quran that says that with difficulty there will be ease. So I would actually, it would be a very cool encounter, because I know how my past self would attack me, telling me wisdom, with the impatience that I had, with with the arrogance in dealing with these kind of things. And you can imagine myself like, boy, just listen, just listen, boy, because it gets so much better if you go through this pain the right way. So if I could just bring it back to that part where people notice, I kept saying since I was 9, since I was 16, one person in the close council that I kept said that you do not notice that the two events that you mentioned in your past combined with this one is actually the same thing.
Wow.
It's the
Wow.
same thing with a different
Wow.
content, right?
Brilliant.
So
Brilliant.
it's the same thing. So I was like, so what's your point? And this person said, the point is that the first two times that you went through this, you didn't learn the lesson and you did not grow from it. So the first time it happened, you did not learn the lesson, you did not grow from it, and then you got hit again like 10 years later with a similar thing, thinking that 10 years is enough for you to gain wisdom and respond better, but you did not. And then now it is given to you the third time at a much higher intensity and scale. Do you really want to fail the third time?
Right.
Uh,
Wow.
so that flawed me. That flawed me, and I was told that this event is meant to to destroy you into a million pieces, and with the instruction, rebuild yourself to be better. But you are there's no rules. You could build it in any way you want. Your choice. How do you want to go? Do you want
Nice.
to
Nice.
rebuild it good, or do you want to mess up again? So
How you're going to reconstruct?
right.
Yeah, the whole of
So
yourself.
I
Nice.
understood the lesson, and then when I got the divorce, the end of that day, as much as I felt relieved that I finally got it done and I have my freedom, that night I was overwhelmed by this weird fear. Uh, and I described it to one friend. It's like I'm walking through a door, and at the entrance of the door, there is a palette, a color palette, and a brush. And I'm told to take it and bring through the door. And as I walk through the door, the whole place is a white canvas.
Wow.
Draw what you want,
You.
and it's
Wow.
scary. What
Nice.
what are you gonna draw?
Nice.
So that was daunting, but having that clarity of what you want helps, which I've
Nice.
mentioned in previous interviews or whatever.
Yeah, I will be posting some of Afif's article where he's been interviewed in the comment later. So, Afif, thank you very much because, Regina says you just did a timeline walk from NLP, the younger self talking to the older self in response. Important to do this to merge our parts which become disjointed over time. Great that the patterns were pointed out to you. I mean, it's interesting because this is what happens in therapy. And I must say that some of the things that you've told me, like this pain is necessary, right? Is the wisdom I'm taking back, with my current space. So thank you very much. I've got two quick rapid questions for you because we are in the Being Whole, Being Me series, right? So if I ask you to complete this sentence, what does it mean for you to being whole as a single dad?
What does it mean to be whole as a single dad? Uh, wow, what does it mean to be whole as a single dad? To have my children align with my value system, and that we educate each other.
Oh, nice, nice. And what does it mean for you now at this moment of time with so much of wisdom, having gone through the pain, having made peace and found peace, having integrated yourself, right? What does it mean to you to be you, being me? What does it mean for Afif to being me?
In a previous life, apart from a technical um, part of my job, uh, I did a lot of talking, probably annoyed a lot of people, but I know that it resonated with some as well. So, with the things I've gone through professionally, there is a nickname that was created for me in that particular workspace, and it was done with a with a negative intention. But I live to own up. I live to own it, to take ownership of it. Um, what does it mean? Is that's why I did the NLP. You see, and I'm working on my master's license soon. Is that I hope to help others
Nice.
to go through. So pilot is a job that I need to do. It's what I love, flying, and in a way, flying helps people. Connecting families and industry and blah blah blah. That's why I also chose design, because it means to help people. To Like what I did last time was to create a new way of consuming training content. So it's I've always wanted to give back, and you can't bring your $1 million to the grave, right? So I hope to be some value to people that will benefit them, and that benefit will just what do you call it? Continue to pay forward and pay forward and pay forward as it goes.
Nice. Thank you, Afif. So you've given us a lot of nuggets. Thank you so much for sharing your life. I know it's past your time to meet your, prayer time. I want to thank you for extending it. But most importantly, I think what I personally took back is really how to grow from grow from the pain. Bye bye. And thank you for letting your father do this. And whatever mess you want to create, you have got 1 more minute to create the mess for your father so that the world can see. So I'm going to give you 1 minute to create the mess you wanted to create for your father.
So
If you
she
want the
said,
world to see.
you got 1 minute to create the mess.
For your dad, if you want to,
mess
while
me
we're
up, right?
all waiting. As
You
I
want to mess
said,
me
thank
up?
you.
No, don't mess me up.
You want to mess up your dad? All right.
You don't.
What? I want to see your father's
Wait, I have
face.
to do
Say,
Yeah, you can do that too. Nice, nice. Yes, he still looks handsome. I'm so sorry.
she says that I still look handsome.
Yes, he still looks handsome. All right. Let me see your father. He doesn't look nice anymore now. Okay, come on. Show me your father so that I can say goodbye. Nice one. Darling, I hope to see your children. Now, Afif, thank you very much. You have a great Friday. Thank you for showing up as you are, and for sharing very, very personal stuff, and your vulnerability with all of us. With that, wishing you all the best. And I can see what the kids are doing to you. And enjoy yourself. Is there anything you'd like to say before we really say goodbye?
Just thank you for this space. Really appreciate it, and I appreciate the kind words. Although I'm gonna do my best to get back at you for that.
We'll see now that I know where you live. Okay, I'm going for so thank you, Afif. Take care. Have a good Friday. I know you need to go for your press. What is she saying?
Nothing.
Show me. When your father says
No,
nothing.
no.
Wait, what is it?
No.
Quick, bring your dad.
All right. Thanks.
Okay, it's not working. You lost to your dad. All right. So Nirmala says she loves your palette. So thank you very much. Your kids want keep the note. Auntie's going to come and see you. All right. So Afif, thank you very much. Have a beautiful, beautiful days ahead. All right.
You
Bye.
too.
All right, that was Afif. I hope you enjoyed him, but more than him, I think you would have enjoyed the beautiful children and and the fun they are. I think it's so easy to see how present he is as the father. So for those who joined us, thank you very much. Thank you for your comments, and thank you for engaging with us, because that's very encouraging. And before I end, next week we have another guest. again on mental health, but this time we are going to talk about image, how image impacts our mental health. And I have my very, very good friend who's going to come on, really, really qualified person. Meanwhile, while you wait, I hope you join me next Friday at 12. Signing off, this is Malin from Hearts and Minds Development Center. Thank you for joining us in Being Whole, Being Me. Stay whole, stay me, and I'll see you next Friday, same time.